Hey guys, it's Carrie with Second Spring Naturals. This is the intro to our weekly vlog that airs on Thursdays here on my channel. So I wanted to introduce you to the kind of day in the life studio vlog where you will see kind of bits and clips from my day working in the studio, from shipping packages to making products to sometimes running to the post office and I take you with me, or to one of my stores. Additionally, I'm now adding in some wellness tips or Etsy tips during these vlogs. So during today's vlog, I wanted to get right into some tips to help you with your handmade or Etsy shop. So for today, we're going to talk about 7 mistakes you might be making in Etsy in 2019. So things change every year and you have to kind of keep up with that, right? In order to have a successful shop. It has taken me a long time, several years, to really figure out what actually works to get an Etsy shop moving. And for several years, my shop was not doing anything at all. In 2018, I finally figured out what I was doing wrong, several things I was doing wrong that I'm going to share with you today, and my shop began to move and really grow very quickly. So without further ado, we'll start with the tips and tricks, and then I'll move you into the studio day. So 7 mistakes to avoid when starting out on Etsy in 2019, or if you're any Etsy seller, if you've had a shop for a while, this could also work for you. Number 1, you aren't keeping your titles simple and you aren't thinking like your customer. In 2019, Etsy wants you to have short keyword phrases for your title, much like the customer would search for. So you really have to stop and think more like your customer in 2019. Instead of having those long titles where everything is bunched together and it's all about keywords and search, you need to keep your titles shorter and simple and use titles that describe the product. So think about what your customer is searching for. It might be a blue stone necklace, or in my case with my Bath and Body shop, they may simply be looking for unscented goat milk soap. So that's what I would put in my title, and that's all I would put in my title. I would put that in my keywords, and then I would look at all of the other keywords that I have researched to help me rank better in search. Another example of this would be one of my gift boxes, a thank you gift box. Instead of writing gift box with lavender cream, lavender bath bomb, lavender, all of these things, I can say lavender thank you gift box, or just thank you gift box, and then I'll usually put the scent there. So that's what the customer's looking for. They're looking for a thank you gift for a friend. They don't know if they're looking for something lavender necessarily, or they don't know if they're looking for everything that's in that box. But what I want them to see is my box come up as an option for them. Number 2, you don't have enough items listed. So one thing I figured out was having 40 to 50 items in my shop was not getting me anywhere. I really needed to add items and add them quickly. So now I have up to 150, and I should have almost 200 in the next month listed. So think of different variations of your products that are already listed. So how else can you list that? Is it multifunctional in search? Can you add one small thing to it that would change the description for it? So you're not necessarily coming up with all new products, but think about different ways you can use the products that you have. The more you have, the more likely you are to show up in search. So of course, taking into account keywords and everything else, it's sheer volume. So put all of the numbers together and look at the sellers that within your competition that are very successful on Etsy, that have a lot of sales, and look at how many items they have. Number 3, your shop doesn't look professional. And by professional, what I mean is packaging. I mean photos, graphics for your banner. It doesn't look like it's a brand. So hire a graphic designer and get that banner taken care of so that it is within brand. Use the same colors. Get yourself a color chart for your brand so that you're always putting the same, kind of that same feel out there. Basically, you want your customer to recognize your brand anywhere, whether it's on social media, on your own website, on Etsy, or if they see your products in a store. Make sure your photos are professional. I've finally hired a photographer to take my photos because I'm not good at it. let's see, you want to have consistency in your branding, and you want to look like you have your stuff together. Number 4, you aren't bringing shoppers in. So yes, there is a huge pool of shoppers on Etsy, but that is not the only place to get your shoppers. So I really push people over to my website, but I do gift boxes on Etsy, and that's different than my website. So what I will do is make sure I have photos of my gift boxes on Instagram or on Facebook. Basically, choose your platform and decide what's going to work for me, and just do a trial. Say, okay, for 6 months, I'm going to commit to making sure I have my items pinned on Pinterest, or I have my photos on Instagram and they're directing shoppers right to my Etsy store. Pick something, be consistent with it for 6 months and see what happens. You have to test things, and you have to be consistent and try it. If you try to do everything all at once, you can become very overwhelmed very quickly, and then you don't do anything. The next is number 5. You don't have a compelling bio section. Etsy, unlike with other platforms, requires that you tell your story. Shoppers are on Etsy because they're looking for unique finds. They're looking for cool gifts that you might not find somewhere else. And they're looking for handmade sellers. They want to know your story. So if you have some kind of icon up there that doesn't show your face, that doesn't really tell anything about you, and then your bio doesn't say anything at all, that could turn shoppers away. Etsy also wants you to fill in all of your sections. So get that bio section filled in. Hire a copywriter if you need help with this. Do a draft, get a copywriter to help you. It's not as expensive as you would think. I have a very good copywriter that helps me with things, and you can see links down below in the description if you want recommendations for that. Number 6, you aren't, and in addition to that, one tip for your bio is to think about what, it's your story, but don't make it all me, me, me. Think about reading it from your customer's perspective. How does your story relate to the customer? They discover why they relate to you and want to like you as a person, and that helps them to convert to a shopper. 6, you aren't delivering more than you are promising. So my theory with customer service is it's everything in my shop. First and foremost, answer your Etsy convos. I don't buy that there's no time. I still teach at a university. I have 3 kids and I'm running my Etsy shop. I have stores and I have a website. I still find time to answer my customers. Make the time. Think like a buyer, and don't assume that your customer is wrong about something if something gets lost in the mail or there is an issue with it. You need to add those things into your cost of doing business. It's just part of doing business. I had a gift box that went to the wrong location and then ended up getting corrected and went to the intended location where someone was sending it. In addition to that, I ended up shipping another gift box out to the original customer just in case she needed to send that off herself, and she ended up being able to keep it. And I said, hey, it's your Valentine's present for me. Yes, it might have cost me something, but what it earned me was a customer who came back. It also earned reviews, and good reviews are everything. Think about when you're on other platforms like Amazon, you're reading the reviews before you buy something. It's the same with Etsy, and there are certain areas within your reviews that people are looking for. Ship on time. So make sure you ship faster even than you say you're going to ship. I have 3 days during the week that I make sure I do the majority of my shipping, and I have mail pickup, and I'm going to show a bit of that in the vlog that's coming after this. Give them little packages, I have like little branded bags that I put in every package that have a sample, it has a business card, write a note to them. This is what people are expecting on Etsy. They don't want something just shoved in some kind of random box that's recycled and sent to you. They want the experience. They're looking for the experience, and that's what you need to think about. So if you're not delivering, you want to deliver more. Promise and then deliver more and delight and surprise your customer. And there are many different ways you can do this. And shipping in a timely manner is one that's not that difficult. I have a lot of packages I have to ship after I finish this video, but I'm still going to make sure I get that done. Number 7, This is the last tip for today. You aren't renewing recently sold items. So every shop should really have one item that sells consistently over and over and over again. I have about 3 items in my store that I know are always going to sell, and they sell almost every day now. I always leave them at a quantity of 1 for the inventory, and then as soon as they sell, I hit renew. This helps Etsy to know that this is a popular item, and they put it right back into search, and it begins to rank higher. This is what I've noticed, and this is what I'm doing. Instead of putting 10, a quantity of 10 available, and then it just kind of keeps going, hitting that renew is going to help you. Now, don't necessarily go in and renew everything in your shop. Think strategically about it. What is one item that has sold well? Renew that item, okay? And see, you have to test this and test it with a couple of different things and see how it comes up in search following that. Okay, so that is it for our 7 mistakes that you may be making in your Etsy shop this year. And now stay tuned and hang out with me a little bit in the studio, and I'll show you what part of my day looks like. Thanks so much for watching. Okay, so I'm starting the day by sitting down to check out my planner. I haven't really filled in a whole lot other than what I had done in the beginning of the week. So today I wrote down that I need to make and film Balancing Act soap, and that's actually what I'm getting ready to do right now. The oils are heating up, and then I will let the oils and the lye solution cool for a while. In the meantime, I have a lot to ship today. I just thought I would read a couple of the messages that people send out to each other, because it's an honor to do this for people, and it just makes everything I'm doing and the work I'm putting into it worthwhile. So I thought I'd share a couple of the messages with you. And they also write to me. But it says, "This is such a great gift. As soon as I saw all of the lavender scents, I knew this is exactly what my mom needs. She has been taking care of all of our family members and has been needing a break. We are so far apart in distance, but this is the perfect gift. Thank you so much that I can send her this amazing package." So I thought I would show you just 4 more of these gift boxes so that I could read some of the messages for you on the back. So these are lavender, and I have my samples in here and the card, and it has the lavender bath bomb, lip balm, cream, and soap. So 3 of these are lavender, and all of the cards they chose are just because. I do cards for just about everything, so there are a lot of different sayings you can get. So this one just says, "Mom, you are so special and kind. Thank you for your hard work in helping everyone. I love you." That's that one. This one, of course I'm leaving the names off. It says, "You wonderful human. I hope you get lots of rest and relaxation time, and that this little self-care kit helps. Take care of you." Smiley face. Again, another lavender. Just because, behind here. It says, "I hope this makes the days go by a little easier." Sometimes I love just some of these very simple messages that you know somebody is struggling. A lot of these boxes are going out to friends or family members who are struggling, and it's just this kind soul who is letting them know that they're not alone and someone's thinking of them. This one is actually a Hello Beautiful. It says, "Just because you are loved, friend. If I could have added a pint of Snickers ice cream to the box, I would have. You deserve it." You know what, girl? If I could have added a pint of Snickers ice cream, I would do it for you too. Okay, so that's the end of that, and we'll be back. So this is what large batch soap making looks like. This is a huge tub of coconut oil, and I get it locally from a company that is not too far from here. So I really like working with local companies if I can source my ingredients that way. So I have just filled this entire pot with coconut oil and palm oil, and now I'm going to let this start melting down. And in a separate pot, I will put my olive oil and my castor and put like a heat warmer on that until this is melted, and then those will all be combined to make my very large batch of Balancing Act soap. So I will have a separate video for the Balancing Act soap, and actually it will go up before this one actually goes up. And that's it for right now. I'll be back in a little bit.